Please give a round of applause to Architect Haji Nazlan Baharudin.
Architecture is power. Sorry, I couldn't help myself here. I mean, it's a theme which is quite an amazing theme. I've switched it around. Instead of power is architecture. Architecture is power, I believe. Anyway, I think PAM has outdone themselves this year. And I think they're doing a very fine job. I've been given only 20 minutes to talk to you guys, but we'll see if we can finish the whole slides of experiences that I've done on this particular project, which took us a good about 4 years, compressed in 20 minutes, inshallah. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And I bid you all a very good morning. The Bangunan Azman Hashim, University of Malaya, was conceived from an internal invitation by the university back in 2010, actually. And we were fortunate enough to be one of the 5 they invited to come in with some kind of an internal competition that they had then. And we took it upon ourselves to invite one of our collaboration partners, Bequadro Architects from Italy. And together since then, we've struck up quite a number of projects together with them. And we're still, doing projects with them, yeah? This particular job, I would like to share with you, actually there are 2 aspects of the job. One is the design theory behind the process of design thinking behind the building itself. And the other one has got to do with stories of the number of people's involvement inside the project. So I'd like to place more emphasis on the people involvement because we don't have very much time on design. The whole job actually started with this little sketch. It wasn't this particular project, but it was on another project. This was a sketch that we did for another client, a tower building in KL, which we didn't get anywhere with it. But this is the one that took us to Venice Biennale. We managed to get this exhibited in 2010, and that gave us the opportunity to see what it's like on the other side of the world, and to see what fantastic ideas from around the world would help us in attain our experience in design. And the exhibition remained an exhibition, and we struck up a few meetings with local architects from Venice and from Rome and from Italy as well. And this is the story behind how we collaborated, or we started the collaboration with the Bequadro boys. They invited us to a presentation in Venice. This was arranged by the Venetian Institute of Architects back in 2010, and it all began there. It was in this very room that we decided that, we invited Max, whom we know from Cole, from scratch. I didn't know him from Adam, actually. And we discussed about the possibility of looking at this project at the University of Malaya. Now, the site is actually quite strategic. I won't go into a deep elaboration of the design process of the building itself, but I'll touch upon it. And from this diagram, you can see we are very conscious of key buildings that we can see from the project site itself. And we're looking at Menara Telecom. These are icons of the city itself. We have to the southeast the university's Faculty of Architecture itself, and then we were conscious of Rimba Ilmu. For those of you who are familiar with university, they have a series of buildings which are sort of very old and a mix of new buildings as well, and it required a lot of thinking behind what can be done to improve the situation. These are some of the views that we captured before and during the construction, where we wanted to relate views out, for example, to Rimba Ilmu, to the north side of the site. And then we have onto the west, that is the umbrella roof existing lecture theater for the Faculty of Economics. And beyond that, you can see the barrel roof new school of economics done by our prominent Hijaz Kasturi architects. And beyond that, of course, there's the south side of Rimba Ilmu. On the other side, on the east side, we have also another one of his buildings there, the Telecom Tower. And of course, this is the new School of Architecture from University of Malaya. Those of you who are from the university would recognize this in an instant. Now, as the building came up, or before even the building came up, we looked at the site. It was actually a 1.9 acre site, a very small parking lot existing that belonged to the existing faculty. That's the existing faculty of the business administration. And they had a parking lot shared with School of Economics, which consists of these two buildings. To the north was the Faculty of Education, and we had the library sitting across there. And of course, you have the University Lake beyond that. Now, this was a series of very, very early sketches that I've managed to duck up with my files. We sort of looked at the site and felt for the site. Time was spent, and we went back again and again to the site to get a feel of what the building really wants to be. I mean, that's the key phrase, actually. We want to feel what is the spiritual, wave for the buildings. And we were given a hint that the client or the project sponsor had an affinity for Feng Shui. Now he's not a great believer in Feng Shui, but he says he doesn't mind some elements of that being put in. These are some studies, of course, on views out and interrelative, link between the site itself, which I've put in as a nibble point. And you can see that, around the sites, we've got some wonderful views out, and we feel that we must relate to. And during construction, I would dare say that we even changed rooms, where we had put rooms on paper, we changed them at will. We sort of decided, for example, the room for the decan or the dean for the faculty is better situated to where better views are located. This is something which you will never be able to do on paper, you see. That is something that we learned. And of course, using concrete with seniors capability, I mean, it presented a fantastic opportunity to exploit the material instead of getting to grips with the rigidity of the material. So we were able to explore this material. And you can see as the building came up, there were possible views out that was really tremendous. And we changed the location, as I said, of some of the rooms at will, with, of course, the client's permission. This, for example, is a room for the dean. And it was placed initially at a space where there wasn't very much to see from outside the room itself. Some of the trees that was retained on site, this was eventually built. That tree, actually a cluster of trees, was in danger of being knocked down, just before construction or even on planning stage. But as the building came up, we knew that, retaining those trees were paramount importance. And we are pleased to manage to have done that, actually. Some studies as well. These are very, very rough sketches which we did on the possible shape of the building coming up as we came up to the finality of the project. This is what it looks like from Google Map, as you can see it from today. The flow of the building is just sinuous, and it's free form, reflects the wind-water spirit of Feng Shui. And we thought that the building should sit on the site as if it was there for eternity, you see. Yeah? The geometric compass, when we superimposed this, we didn't take a very deep look at this, but although we can, but this is not the forum to discuss this because we've hardly any time to look at this. But suffice to say that some of the rooms were arranged to some of these how you say some of these principles of Feng Shui. The sketch design translated into a figure that can be I mean, as a result of a painting on the wall, actually, but it can be interpreted in many, many forms. And superimposition on the side would look something like that as a concept. As the lines began to harden, we were able to put some three-dimensional forms to it and arrange rooms within the buildings itself. It was a huge delight going through this process. This building is a one-off. It's a project which, for me as an architect, is a dream come true. Not only because we had a very supportive set of client body, the sponsors were fantastic. Everybody who worked very hard on this job, as you can imagine, gave it all their best, which I will touch upon. This was a picture of one of the very early design presentations that we did to our sponsor, the project sponsor, a prominent banker in KL. And this is where, I just like to show you a very short video next of what transpired during the presentation. It was a very simple 3-minute short video, and what I said was that we had a very good support from the client body. This is the project owners actually is from the university, and the person you saw just now behind, that's him. That's the project sponsor. So we had a very good mix of people supporting this job, and a 3-minute video I think did the trick. It was a very simple modeling. Gives me goosebumps even now, because the faculty dean, who has since passed away, she died of cancer actually. She was very emotional when she saw this video and thought that she would outlive her life to see this at the end of the job, but unfortunately it didn't. So we'd always like to dedicate this project to her, because without her support, we wouldn't have managed to get to see the end of this job. That was a reaction from the project sponsor. He turned around and he made my day. He just said that this is a work of art. And one presentation did it. To be honest, it's not very easy to get clients agreeing with you after just one presentation, but that did it. Prof. Fazila, the lady who supported us on this, she's since passed away. May God bless her soul. And she was the bedrock of the support for this project initially. And this was the single A3 sheet that we submitted along with the video for the presentation. It was just an A3 sheet of paper that was given to them, and it was that was it. And we won the job. So we proceeded with the site analysis, and the studies began. The long hard work, started rolling from there on. These are just some very early photographs of the project site itself. You can see the front of the site empty, 1.9 acres just full of cars. The link, or the front porch of the existing faculty, was there to make a statement, and we knew that we had to relate that somehow to the new building. The location of the link is thereabouts. So as lines hardened, as you can see, the project started rolling end of 2013, and some of the construction drawings that came up on site while I was supervising in the early days, it was just a pure delight to see the curves coming in at very early stages. And as the building went up, I must say that even in half a construction or half constructed, it was a silhouette in an art form, which I've enjoyed throughout the journey of making this job a reality. Some of the seniors' views of the building under construction, as you can see, as a sculptural entity coming up against the backdrop of existing buildings surrounding the site. These are sites to behold during construction. I've never been so excited during construction for a building as I have for this job, actually. And how it began to relate itself as the building got built. That's a typical project meeting at site. We had a team who was so enthusiastic. I think this is one of the power that architecture can come in from good design. You have people from the project team putting extra effort because they know that they're getting involved with something which is different and very exciting. The project engineer himself, Haji Lajis, there you can see, he has never in his 40 years of experience taken upon himself to personally supervise a job. Apart from being the design structural engineer, he took it upon himself to actually supervise the job, and he became the RE for the job. Yeah? So it was his first job as a resident engineer, and he said was really proud to get involved in a project with design like this. It's quite unique to him, and there was a lot of challenges from the engineering aspects, I should imagine. And this cut across the whole backdrop of the construction team as well. Everybody, you can imagine, put in extra effort to make the building a reality. They gave it all, and we had site visitations from many people. Students from the university came, from outside universities as well, and they were visiting teams of other architects who came to see the building as it went up. This is a shot of my wife, my beautiful wife, Eve, who she contributed a lot on the documentation of the building and bedrock for the support for myself. There are many others who were involved in the job, including the clients themselves, the end users, the universities who were very supportive. The top management, Prof. Rafiq, also lent a lot of support, and they said that please leave the professionals to do the job themselves, and we won't interfere as you would get in many projects that we do. I'll just run through this series of photographs that actually we have a site visitation on this on Sunday, I believe, and you're most welcome to join us, for the site visitations. As completed, we managed to even astroturf the roof, the flat roof, as you can see, which lent a more presentable and sustainable form of protection for the roof covering. The extensive use of daylight, you can see from the atrium coming in through the building itself, lent itself to low energy usage for office and educational use. Some of the views from the rooms itself, and low cost for electric, and you can get shafts of light coming in through stairwells and into the rooms. And you've noticed that some of the walls are, quite actually 8 of the walls, the main walls, are cavity walls, and they act as a thermal insulator. So if you cool the whole building down from the interior, thermal heat do not escape to the outside. These are some of the interiors. Sorry, I'm getting the first bell. So I'll just run through this. I mean, happy faces while the project is coming up or was coming up. These are thumbs up given by the project team itself, the client, the end users. They all make the day of the architect worthwhile, you know. All the efforts that we have taken upon us. This is the Italian ambassador giving us his accolade, and he was very pleased with involvement from his country. That's a very happy prophet from the university. And of course, during the opening ceremony itself, the project sponsor, and we had the involvement of His Highness Sultan of Perak, who was presented with a book of the building, a picture story. I must say that it's been a huge delight to have this building put up. And I just want to end this presentation with a short video. This is actually a drone shot taken by the university just upon completion. And of course, you know, the career of an architect is not complete without recognition from their own peers. We must thank PAM for doing a wonderful job to even recognize what we did. And this was, I think, deserved of the gold medal or the gold award for design excellence that we managed to get. And, you know, I ended with this shot, priceless photograph of a very happy and very proud client from the university. Thank you very much.